Can you believe we started Interview Boss in 2021?
Not really. It's insane. That's a lot of episodes and a lot of hours of talking.
Oh my gosh, it is. And if you're scrolling through all of our episodes, you might scroll straight past something that you really, really needed.
Yes, we're always getting messages from people asking us to do an episode on something, and I'm like, we already have.
So we've put together playlists to help you find the episodes that are exactly what you need, suited to your situation.
They're all categorized. If you're applying for jobs, we have episodes about resumes, cover letters, job ads. If you've been offered your dream job, we have episodes on resigning, exit interviews, and how to impress at your new company.
And we even have a very special playlist that's very popular for if you have an interview coming up immediately and you need just our most recommended hard-hitting episodes between now and then.
For all our last-minute listeners. It's all there for you. You can browse by category and check out all the playlists at interviewboss.com.au/podcast.
Whereas if you were in a worse job, you would have quit by now and you'd be in the better job. It's like you would have been better off if you were in the bad job because you would now be in the good job. So it's a bit of a paradox where you can end up stuck in the middle.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Interview Boss. My name is Emma. I'm a radio journalist who's teamed up with my sister to give you advice, inspiration, and support when you're looking for a new job. Sarah is a HR and recruitment professional, and together we're excited to give you all the tips, tricks, and behind-the-scenes knowledge to help you in your career. My first time saying that in a while. Because we've been on holidays.
We have been on holidays, a family holiday. How cute. And we've come back to Sydney and Wollongong respectively, and it's miserable. It's so rainy. So I'm really glad we got away.
We have been slapped in the face with winter. We went on the cusp of autumn. It was still somewhat nice weather, enjoyed beautiful, tropical, warm weather, and we're back and it's miserable and raining. So that's tough.
Yeah. I mean, it's not officially winter, but I think we've got some like stuck weather system that won't move. It's going to be 10 days of rain. Ugh.
A trough, if you will.
A trough.
That's what they always say.
I don't understand weather. You know how they like say so much percentage chance of rain? I saw something that was like, it means it's going to rain, but the coverage over that area is only a certain percentage.
60% of the area will get rain. Yeah.
I thought they were like, oh, it's 50-50, maybe not.
Yeah.
Like, I treat that very differently now when I see rain on the forecast. I'm like, it's definitely bring an umbrella. Well, welcome back, everyone. You haven't had a gap necessarily in what you've been listening to, but we have. So, Em, who are we giving a big fat shout out to? This one's a good one, I think.
To Carolyn, who bought us 5 coffees and sent us this message. Hey, Emma and Sarah, a fellow bosser got me onto your wonderful podcast after I admitted I was terrified of entering back into the domain of job interviews after 12 years at my job. To me, it was like getting back into the dating scene, all sweaty palms and nerves. That is relatable for many, I'm sure. The company I worked at for 12 wonderful years was purchased and they slowly made everyone redundant, so I was a little bit flat. I took a good 6 months off to be with my family as my dad had passed away the year before. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear. And just did life admin and enjoyed my young family. I've been religiously devouring your episodes since the start of the year. It's not just your no bullshit advice that I love and the little pep talks. Sometimes I think I just found your dulcet voices relaxing. What does that mean?
You'll have to look it up. It's like
I'm guessing it's a compliment. Can you check the definition for us?
It is a compliment. It means pleasing to the ear.
Oh, dulcet. I love that. I have a bit of a niche job and I found the perfect job advertised and went hard, practiced all my best stories, weaved in the so what and the backgrounds, and it helped so much. I even used your cover letter and I was so honest about who I am. It all helped. However, I did bugger up one of my email addresses, even though you've warned of this exact thing. Oh, no. And so I missed my first interview. I managed to salvage it and carry on, minus a few grey hairs. I bet that is next level stress. I've just been offered the role and I'm thrilled. Then I went on to negotiate flexibility. They had sent me a 22-page doc on how flexible they were with work options prior to my first interview, the one I didn't miss. That is a green flag. And one of my interviewers talked about how a couple of people in her team are 4 days. So I thought, no problem, I'll ask for 4 instead of 5. They said no. I was a bit surprised and on the back foot, and suddenly my dream job is looking like I might blow up with small 3 kids at home. It felt like if I pushed it, they would simply offer it to the next person. So I accepted, but feeling a bit uneasy about it all. I trawled your episodes for one about discussing flexibility if you have family, a carer, or other commitments, but I couldn't see it. So I'm sending out a huge thank you for being such lovely legends in my ears and getting me through, but also a little SOS on what to do. I'm getting mixed advice, so would love to hear yours. Thanks again, boss ladies.
Well, that is such an awesome story, Carolyn, and we have added that to our list of episodes to consider making in the future. But I think we've talked a little bit about like part-time and like wanting like to work from home and other flexible stuff. Definitely applying for things and then discussing it is the right way to go about it. So you've tried that, it hasn't worked, then you've got a decision to make. Do you accept it and then talk about flexibility down the track? That's potentially what I would do in her situation, but we'll cover that in another episode.
But firstly, so glad I think you've just come up with the term bosser. That's our audience's new name, fellow bosses.
Bosses.
Bosser. I love that so much. I'm so glad it was passed on to you. I'm so glad that you've used all of our resources and we've helped you get through, as you described it, a time as challenging as re-entering the dating scene.
Exactly. And I love that it wasn't super straightforward. Like, she's not saying everything was sunshine and rainbows and like I listened to a few episodes and then landed my dream job. She said, she stuffed up her email address, like there was nerves, there's this issue about flexibility. Like, it's not all straightforward. So if you're out there with a complicated job search situation, it's okay. You can get there too.
Absolutely.
Now, if you need help getting rid of those dating nerves with your interviews, you can check out all of the help that we can provide, a little bit more than listening to a podcast. We have one-on-one coaching sessions available, but also, regardless of where you are in the world, we have on-demand interview coaching with our course, Interview Academy. You can check out all about it at interviewboss.com.au. Check out all the options and see which one is potentially right for you.
Perfect. Let's get into today's episode. We are going to be talking about rage applying. Rage applying.
This came into our inbox as like a press release, and we get plenty of these, and often they're just random stuff and I mostly ignore them because they're just not that interesting. But this one I saved for later because I thought
there's something in here.
Yeah, I've never seen this topic like actually looked into before. So, tell us about what this study is.
So there was a study that was done on the trend of rage applying, which this is when professionals retaliate to a bad day at work by going home and firing out multiple applications to new job roles. You're like, I've had enough. John's pissed me off. You get on Seek. You think I'll take anything at this point and you just rage apply. So there's actually been a study done on this, which is remarkable. Obviously, I appreciate and admire the field of science, but do you ever read those wacky ass studies and you're like, who is getting paid to find this out? It really doesn't matter. But they've done a study on rage applying. Now, 65% of people in Australia admitted to rage applying. And of those who admitted to rage applying in the past 6 months, almost half stated they had applied to multiple new roles within that short space of time.
So it's like I'm applying for 10 jobs in the one day that I've had a bad day.
In the one sitting.
I'm like, click, 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 click. Yep.
This comes from recent research by recruitment specialists Robert Walters, and over 2,000 Australian professionals were surveyed. So over half admitting to rage applying is quite a lot. And over in the US, very similar story, 67% admitted to rage applying. So this is a bit of a global trend, if you will.
Yep. And I love that they've captured this in a survey because I can really relate. Like, I'm sure I've done this at some point. Like, absolutely. Having it in the back of my mind, oh, maybe I get out of here, maybe I don't. And then you have a bad day and you're like, that's it. I'm doing it. I'm applying for stuff. Or you even just get a recruiter call that turns up on the right week where you've had a bit of a bad week and you're like, yeah, you know what? Stuff it. I am going to talk to this recruiter. So they looked into as well, what were the reasons that people were rage applying? So the leading issue provoking rage appliers was a toxic workplace culture. Very topical with our episode recently about that. With over half, 65% of professionals stating this was the main reason they took to the keyboard. A fifth of workers blamed poor work-life balance, so 20%, followed by an unmanageable workload, which was 13%. So only 3%, so the tiny little minority, said that they'd had a disagreement with management or something that led to them to rage applying. So it doesn't even sound like it's one blow up with their manager. It's more like an ongoing thing that they just hit capacity on.
An ongoing roadblock that's chipping away at you.
Yeah, it's not like everything's great and then you have a fight with your manager. It's like your work-life balance continues to be bad and it's like there's some kind of straw that breaks the camel's back and you just go on and like quickly apply for stuff. So what do you think about this, Em? Have you rage applied before?
I think I might have. Definitely not bulk, like rage applies in look on seek immediately. I'm a rage scanner. I'll scan, but I never take it to the step of rage applying for random jobs because if I want to leave anywhere, I want it to be for something that's actually genuinely good and a good fit, not just for the sake of it.
I like the idea of rage searching, rage job searching.
Yeah, I rage survey. It's a lot more soft.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm turning on my open to opportunities badge in the background, like the secret one that recruiters can see. It's a little bit softer than the full-on rage apply.
Interview Academy might be the perfect thing you're looking for. Interview Academy is a course Sarah has been working on after delivering hundreds of interview coaching sessions and getting incredible results.
But unfortunately, I'm only one gal living in an Aussie time zone who works a day job, and all of that mean I can't help everyone one-on-one, which drove me crazy.
So for over a year, Sarah's been working on turning all of those amazing lessons into an on-demand, step-by-step interview prep course. We hold your hand through the entire thing,
and you can do it at home in your own time and get instant access right now. Check it out at interviewboss.com.au/interview-academy. The link is in the show notes. Well, I thought we should talk about whether this is a good idea or not. Like, should we actually be rage applying? What do you reckon?
I think if it's a trend, if you've been like going home to your partner every day or your friends or your family and consistently complaining about, you know, similar themes for a long time, and then there is that straw that breaks the camel's back, I think it can be a good like push to actually do something about it. If you've been miserable for a long time and then one thing really gets you, I think that can be used as a good MO to be like, wow, I'm so angry, I'm going to channel it into actually doing something. So I do endorse it in certain situations, but I think if it was a rage apply because not only did you have a bad day at work, but also you're also really financially stressed and you've had family things going on and other things in your life are leading to that, I don't think rage applying is a good idea because maybe it's just a symbol of other factors in your life as well as having the bad day at work.
Yep. I really agree with you on it could be the push you need. I like the idea that it's a good motivation to update your resume. In our resume episodes, we've talked about how you should try and keep your resume updated, and every now and then just keep it updated so that if something comes up, you're not then going, oh, I've got to spend 4 hours updating everything before I can apply for it. You've got something that's relatively ready to go. But I get how, like, who's actually going to do that, right?
Yes, I was just going to say, get real.
It might take this rage moment for you to suddenly be like, no, screw you. Instead of spending my last half an hour of the day doing actual work, I'm going to spend my work time updating my resume. Great. Do that. Like, it might be a good push to do those tasks that otherwise sit in that like, oh, I should do it. I'll get around to it one day. Like, it's that fire that you need almost to get you to do those things.
It's the firecracker up your butt that you need.
Yeah. It also reminds you that there are other options out there. Like, even if you're not rage applying, if you're doing Emma's thing of rage searching.
Rage surveying.
Surveying. Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah.
You're just like surveying the plains, like a little meerkat, like looking around, seeing what's out there.
The areas, the options.
Well, if you're rage surveying, I think that ticks this box as well of just reminding you that there are other options, looking at what other companies are doing, what other companies are hiring, like reading about those jobs. You might read some of them and then be like, oh, that sounds terrible. Actually, all of these sound terrible. And it might give you context that maybe your job's not that bad.
The grass isn't always greener. Or it could snap you out of it if you're looking and you go, wow, there's nothing out there at all. I need to tone down the rage and cling on until the situation improves.
I need to go back into my little meerkat hole and shut up. And, oh, actually, we have the episode that we just recently did about how to handle a toxic workplace. If that's you, that's in the majority of like, how do you make it manageable, survivable so that you can get the most out of your situation? How do you tread water? Maybe that's a good episode for you. But this reminded me, just as we were talking about a paradox that I heard about a little while ago, I think from TikTok, I'm sure. Most things. I'm like, it's an article. It's not. It's a TikTok. It's always a TikTok. It's called the region beta paradox. Let me see if I can explain this because it's only fairly new to me. So the paradox comes into play when we have a sense of comfort and familiarity in our current situation, but we also know that we could have more or better. We feel like we're in a good enough situation, but we're not truly happy or fulfilled. So what it's kind of saying is that you would actually be better off if your situation was worse, because then you would do something about it. Whereas if you're in this middle section of it's good enough, I know that I could get a better job, but things are okay, you will suffer through in that middle area. Whereas if you were in a worse job, you would have quit by now and you'd be in the better job. It's like you would have been better off if you were in the bad job because you would now be in the good job. So it's a bit of a paradox where you can end up stuck in the middle.
I've told myself that many times in my life.
And I think this applies to so many different situations. It's like in relationships, in jobs, in houses that you live in, all sorts of things that you can have where you've got something that sits in the middle. You'd be better off if it was worse because then you'd do something.
You'd be better off being in the rat-infested, mouldy house with the landlord that comes over unannounced because you would flee that situation so quick.
And end up somewhere better.
Get it? Because fleas on rats. Wait. Did anyone else learn about the bubonic plague in whatever year you learn about it, year 7, and did your teachers play you on YouTube a clip about the plague, but it was to Hollaback Girl?
What?
It was like, ooh, fleas on rats, fleas on rats. And it was like to the sound of Hollaback Girl, but it was about the plague.
Oh my God. What do you mean?
Go and look it up if you haven't. I don't know. Obviously, learning about the plague is probably boring, so my teachers were trying to make it exciting. So they made us watch this thing on YouTube, and for the next 7 business months, we were all just singing, ooh, fleas on rats, fleas on rats.
Well, it was very effective because you still remember right now, like what it was.
Yeah.
Can you see if it's still there?
It's called Black Death, HD version, Hollaback Girl. There you go. Look that up on YouTube. Here, this is how it goes.
It's the plague, gonna kill you in a few days. A pandemic so severe, Black Death caused such horror and fear, and there ain't no cure for that, girl.
Oh, no. Okay, well, there you go. That was a little bit of a segue into bad apartments. But I think you could be in a region beta paradox if you are doing some rage applying, and maybe this, bad day and you're going into this rage applying thing tips you into that worst situation so that you do something about it. And that could potentially be a good thing. It could be an old kick up the backside. But I also do think that those applications could be a bit rushed and you might be putting out some pretty terrible cover letters and resumes if you've just quickly put it together. So maybe just save them, use the rage to actually make good action, like updating your resume. We have a resume update challenge that you can go and listen to that episode and then get the email sequence. You get 1 email a day for the next 5 days that tells you each thing that you should do. You kind of breaks it up so that you can get through it. That could be a really helpful thing to do.
Also, if you're rage applying to bulk places that you don't necessarily want and then it cools down, I'm just thinking about crawling into my skin if I started getting emails from recruiters for like a librarian office job that I'd never wanted in the first. Like that's just extra admin and mental load that I don't have time for. So maybe at least apply for targeted rage jobs, not just anything and everything.
The recruiter in me is like, oh, how annoying that you think you've got the best candidate and you call them and they're like, oh, sorry, I just had a bad day the other day. Don't worry about it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, you wasted my time. The other thing I thought about when I was thinking about what advice we should give is that it reminded me of this idea that when you happen to be looking for a job, you're only able to look at what's available at that immediate time. What are the chances that there's a job out there that's really, really great for you? And I'm not going to say dream job or perfect job because we're not putting jobs on a pedestal anymore. Let's imagine that there's a job out there that's really, really great for you. What are the chances that it happens to be open when you happen to be looking? I often think about that. Like, you're playing a big game of chance and numbers, and like there's a lot of luck involved in applying for things just when something happens to be available. So I do actually like the rage surveying idea of like, whenever you do have a bad day, go and look, because you might see that thing that would have even gotten you to apply. Even if you weren't in a rage, you would still apply because it's just so ideal, or it's something that you've always been interested in. So I don't hate that.
I'm starting this movement. Rage surveying is in.
Rage surveying. I like it.
In for 2024.
In permanently. Like, let's just continue it beyond the year. My last bit of advice is that if it is just a bad day, it might be a bit of a waste of time applying for things. Like, if you're going to feel differently about it next week and you're going to be like, oh, well, it's fine. The situation resolved itself. My boss apologized. Like, they have actually let me take that day off or whatever. Maybe put your energy into taking a break, or actually talking to your boss or talking to your colleagues, or trying to fix the problem instead. If it's literally just a bad day, are you throwing the whole job out for no reason? Like, do we just want to take a moment?
What do they say? If you think you hate everyone, you probably need to eat. And if you think everyone hates you, you probably need to sleep.
Yes, that's so true.
That's a good system to follow in this situation.
That is very true for me, I find. If you think everyone hates you, you need to sleep. Yeah. Honestly, that happens a lot. I'm like, nobody wants to be friends with me. Nobody likes me at work. They're all just tolerating me. One good night's sleep, I'm like, oh, I'm amazing. Forget about it. Don't even worry.
Yes, that's very true for you.
For me, it's true for you as well. So, yeah, keep rage applying. I'm okay with it. I'm not against it. Just, make sure you use it to your advantage.
It could be the kick up the butt you need. Channel that rage into positive action.
Thanks so much for listening to Interview Boss. If you like hearing the sound of our voices, hit that follow button in Apple or Spotify, or better yet, recommend us to a friend, just the way that our listener Carolyn did for a fellow bosser. For more advice, inspiration, and a supportive community, check us out on Instagram at Interview Boss.
We've been your job search besties and helped you in some way. There's a cool way you can support the show. Shout us a virtual coffee.
We get a huge kick out of reading all of your success stories. Head to buymeacoffee.com/interviewboss and shout us a cuppa.
If you keep us caffeinated, we can keep the content coming.